Good.
Can we talk a little bit about the video? Because it's pretty epic. I like what you guys did with that.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll turn it over to Calico.
Go ahead. I'm so excited about it. Let me tell you why. Because this was one of those things that it's your typical like kind of shoot for the moon thing. I just always approach everything like I have unlimited budget and unlimited constraints, and that people want to give me spaceships. And I don't know if you call that manifestation or psychopathy, but whatever. I just believe that it's gonna like happen somehow. And so I had this stuck in my head that like Run for Your Life was like this like sort of like high contrast 80s action adventure epic. Right.
Nice.
And I just figured, well, I don't know, why not? Right? Like why not? And so I started like crunching the numbers and everything. And I mean, you'd be surprised what you can do when you're like, this is happening and it's non-negotiable. Like it's happening. And I am shocked and amazed at how guys that are as good at playing their instruments as these guys are can pull off acting. They're good. They're like, I studied this. Like I had to go to school to like do it correctly. And I'm like, hey, to our drummer, I go, hey, Sean, like, I go, right before you punch this guy in the face, I go, just give me a little wink. And it's like the most epic part of the video. I'm like,
yeah,
cool. I went to RADA, but whatever.
Yeah.
And we talked about this before we went on, but you directed it, right?
I did. Here comes the part where I sound like a sociopath, but it's all true. I wrote it. I directed it. I did the set design. I did the costumes. I did the special effects. I did the editing. I did the catering. I did everything when it came to the visuals of it. Right. And, I cast the actors. I did all this stuff, and it was so cool to watch it happen because, when something's like born in your brain and then it's happening and everybody shows up for you. Like, I mean, I was doing the stunts, like the guy that gets shot and blown off of his feet is just a friend of mine that does every single commercial you've ever seen. He's the guy, the voice that goes, "Welcome to Lexus, a new journey." And that's John Cuban. And he was like, I said, hey, can I shoot you in the chest and you just fly across the room? And he goes, yeah. So it was just a lot of people saying yes, which I think, you guys have this podcast, you guys have like, what it's like to like run into a lot of no's and a lot of like people being like, who cares? Like, I care. I do. And so I wanted to make this super epic, and these guys are so game for anything. I mean, I'm telling you, these amazing musicians, and I'm going, this is what you're going to wear. They're fighting. They've never had any fight training, but I just said, just don't hurt each other and go for it. And I mean, our merch guy is fighting our guitar player, and it's just like, it just turned into this like epic thing. And as I'm editing it, I got like the heart weasels. I'm like, oh, it's really good. Okay. I'm really excited.
Yeah.
So did you like it? I mean, like, what did you catch?
Yeah.
It was kind of like, I leaned into the cheesy 80s, like angles and lighting and everything. And like, yeah, what do you think about it? Because I've been talking about it all week.
It kind of reminded me a little bit of what was the 80s sitcom, or it wasn't a sitcom, but it was with the robot. Was it Buck Rogers? The
Buck Rogers,
80s,
or it's Lost in Space.
Lost in Space. That's what I was going with.
Yeah.
I got kind of a Starship Troopers vibe a little bit. Have you seen that?
Of course. And that's,
like,
come on, like that's our era when we were like young, like junior hires, and those movies were coming out, like Event Horizon.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That still to this day, I keep referencing it all the time when I make stuff for Beasto specifically, where there's bloody, there's scary, and then there's Event Horizon.
Yeah.
And then there's like
that was twisted, man.
Dude. And stuff nobody saw, like The Cell.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. I keep thinking, like, when I even watch the video now, I always think at one particular moment we're going to run into the Predator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's one of the best action movies ever made.
Yeah.
Now we got to fight this guy too. Like, no problem. Here we go.
But yeah, the experience was really awesome. And I think we ended up, if you think that's ambitious, there's 11 songs on the new record Kinetica that's coming out, and we did 11 videos.
Oh, amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, because
We were just talking with someone about how like these days almost like making an album could be compared to like making a Netflix series where you have to make like individual episodes that tell a story, but then also tell a bigger story together, you know?
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I think as we were listening to the record, like we were just saying before, it started off as it was a great rock record. There's all different kinds. There's like, acid rock and heavy metal and all this stuff. But for me, as the visuals started coming, it started becoming a little bit of a concept record, where I was like, this is a story. This is a story. And I think think about your favorite records that like back in the day, like they just had like a video, right? But when you
Mhm.
listen to them, you're plugging in your life experience. You're plugging in, that breakup. You're plugging in that like piece of crap human being that just like, screwed
Yeah.
you over. And whether you realize it or not, you're narrating a movie in your head when you listen to your playlist or your record. But there weren't those visuals back then. And so
Mhm.
now kind of my hope for Kinetica and all these visuals is this is how I saw this story unfolding. But I'm encouraging people like send me videos of what you do when you hear Run for Your Life, what you do when you hear any of these other singles that are coming out. And like Beasto has reached some corners of the earth that are surprising to me and really inspiring. Like, we saw a person that had previously been like wheelchair bound, and they were using the song Grind like as they were like building themselves back up, and then they like get up on their feet and they're walking. And I mean, man, there certainly are tears in metal, because I was like, you chose our song to be like the soundtrack of your victory.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's an honor bigger than
No.
that.